say be the king of black legs. And I don't way he specialize now for collect money in exchange for the blood of his people. In conduct titles. Now he job that. So in conduct titles come up with the coup.
My country people them. Amba terrorists, they no fit ignore we. I be don't tell una because they feel the impact of our action, of our words, of our black legism. They cannot ignore us. So this one, and another Momo man, this John Akuru na Batibo man. He don't come out for can kick against West Senator Mbelamoki Charles if he talk. As I been make that audio a few days ago for respond to Mbelamoki Charles, I be tell una say I guarantee una say 90 to 99% of the people the way they go can kick against West Senator Mbelamoki Charles talk, those people will be Northwesterners. I tell una, I give una examples them how Batibo people they did inside Fako, inside Southwest, they fight for chieftaincy. Now another Batibo man is John Akuru. It don't come for can kick against West Senator Mbelamoki Charles it talk. The other person we can kick against na Capo Daniel, a commander for Northwest. And then again, USA they post this video now for Ayabacho Lucas, a Facebook page, another Northwest man. Whereas when I get Southwesterners them, where they call themselves presidents of Ambazonia, from Marianta side, they should run them quiet. Sako Ikome side, quiet. Ayuk Tabe side, they should run them quiet. Do I know why? Because they know this dynamic, they know this reality where we talk about. They know. Now I will record another audio for analyze or respond to what we jump. I could not even respond because I'm non-entity. When I listen to what we talk, and then we will talk again after.
This one we go start talk so now go hear a voice nothing know but I go tell una in name.
My country people then. Today, na number 10 day for August 2023, and I want to make an audio response to the outing way Senator Charles Mbelamoki be maker. So yesterday at the state funeral of the 5 divisional delegates from Dian, where they will be kidnapped, tortured, extorted, and then finally killed and thrown in a mass grave from Dian. For that state funeral, actually there have been 6 of them. Now just say one of them, they will don't kill you on the spot on that day, so they will don't take it there. But then 6 Dian delegates we talk about. So for the state funeral for Limbe, Senator Charles Mbelamoki he make a pronouncement. He cry out about the over-domination, marginalization, and ill treatment of the Southwest people in their own land. Whenever...
So, I don't talk say, evil people them. There will be always be so much in solidarity and they will support each other, they will work together. So, that person will talk so, like picture with that. His name na Titus Nkonda. He come up from Widikum. Very close relation to my very good friend. Where today, he to say he be Senator Enwe Charles Abie. This one, Nkonda Titus. Now Nkonda Titus is not this story so. Make we hear fine. Because he did talk already for broken English, I know we interpret them, I will just analyze them as we go. Here the kind of talk way it come out from his mouth. And you go understand why we don't start this story now for talk say evil people them they must always support each other even if they don't get arguments. Here.
Any person make or verbalize this reality for Cameroon, I guarantee you. Say, if you go look at the comments or the people the way they kick against this reality, 90 to 99% of them are Northwesterners. That is a fact. Go look at the comment section. Whereas the Southwesterners, when they see such outing, they listen to such words and all those things, they either remain them silent because they know say not the truth, or they go passively talk about no, we're not supposed to talk so or whatever. Any person where a one kick against that reality, I guarantee you, so that person are not Westerner.
Okay. You see, I dey talk these things. I sure say all man don't conduct titles by now. And at that one way, he be a hired merchant of La République du Cameroon, say he be the king of black legs. And at that one way, he specialize now for collect money in exchange for the blood of his people. In conduct titles. Now he job that. So in conduct titles come up with the coup. My country people, listen well. Listen very well. I don't talk things. Now one corny man. I said, talk, no be me the talker more. Now this wise man, the talker. That's one evil man. Say, from Boya. What happen? Another evil man say, iyo. From Widikum. Why? La République du Cameroun, they take time, plan this in them carefully. So they go tell una say, you see, this man for that side, he don't accuse. Then the other man say, now one of the people they accuse, one of the people, he says, don't come out the camp, he acknowledge him. He don't agree, say, yes, that's in the way you don't be. All them, that the same circle of the very people them, where they know one say, me will be free. Someone will tell me, say, why you play that idiot, this thing for you? No. If I no play and make we talk as so, talk as so. You can't enter here, you feel check say na some correct man in the talker. Listen again.
Because the reality na say, the Southwesterners, they not just feel, it's not just a notion or a perception, say they be over-dominated and marginalized and ill-treated in their own land. It is not just a feeling, it is not just a perception, it is a reality. The reality right from the days before independence, where the Southwest population, they feel this and they experience them. No, not just a feeling. They experience them. I don't tell when I give una tangible, quantifiable, measurable, real exhibit. Look at the federal structure for Cameroon between 1961 and 1972. Look at the top highest position in government, whether not for West Cameroon or for the Federal Republic of Cameroon. The positions that they be occupied by the Anglophones them. All of those positions will be occupied by the Northwesterners. People that like Pan Nanga, people that like Pa Simon Achideachu, people that like Esti Muna, people that like Pa Foncha, John Go Foncha, they are all Northwesterners them. At one point, they will occupy two positions them. You could be a premier or prime minister of West Cameroon and still occupy the office of vice president of the Federal Republic of Cameroon. You won. So whenever Anglophones they talk, sometimes they talk about marginalization or this and that. Now because these people them, my people them, our people them, their belly overflow with corny. Now because they deliberately deny for accept reality. Yes, back in the days, because of the fertile nature of the land in the southwest region, the mountain for Fako, right to Ndian and all of that, the land it be fertile. Yes. By saying that Fako land it be fertile does not negate the fact that Northwest land also.
Now, you see the argument is where you want to present them for you. Say now because land be over fertile for forest zone. Now why that way people they come out all, there are people they come out all can't flow for forest zone take over land. But I don't talk about earlier. And all we know how it happened. When Germans they become, they create all those plantations where they be created. CDC, Pamol, for inside all those places there. That's rubber plantations, banana plantations, plantain plantations, palm plantations. All these things, they will need labor. Plenty labor. I'm not talking they will need people the way they get muscle, they feel work fine. So they will go catch people them from grass field, carry them, truckloads. So when I say they'll carry and say time, I say they go walk and bush, bring them. For inside forest zone, maybe they can't work for those plantations. Maybe say they can't work, they can't, oh no, it be na forced labor. It's been a forced labor. They not be paying no man nothing. It's been a forced labor. Now after, which they don't evolve, we don't get towards independent way British they said they become in. Now from after they start to pay the people that for that plantation, there's some stipend, may they take a survive on. And every person will be work for plantation, therefore, because for at least get farm where he said he cultivate his own personal crops for they can feed himself and his family. Now how much will they end up on those lands? They could be very factual. Because when this palava they talk say, oh, now because the land they be over 40, they try for justify non-senators are not talking and say the land too for what you call a Norwest or whatever, not be fertile. Now because we don't destroy that argument. We don't make the argument clear for you. Which man do ever come up from which side for that country they go by men and carry chop? Make some man quote them one place. From the so-called place they mean say na arid land, say na desert. Say na because we no get no resources, now why that would go to the other side to go find resources? Because the argument don't fall to the ground, why they will pretend now they say no, if they talk say soil for Fako over fertile, it not mean say soil for Northwest no fertile. Which you want talk? Here I'm again.
Fertile. I did just specifically say Fako land it be fertile for cultivate things and all of those things. And not to forget say this. So at that time, the British they would choose Boya as the capital. So it will automatically draw population from the hinterlands into Boya. So there was a lot of migration, exodus from the northwest region into the southwest region. People moving there looking for greener pastures, for work in state industries and organizations.
Stop. You see what you talk? That misleading argument. First of all, also capital, they, of course, they will bring people they can't work for those government offices, can't work for those offices. But say migrate in search of greener pastures. I don't talk say the majority of the people that they carry and go there. When they go shit off with them, they bring their family, they can't join the corner for them, they don't day for years upon years. They never go there because they want now to go for that side. Because they be carry them go for forced labor. Don't have fact. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of all those things. Listen, my people. I know I take people their time plenty for listening to too much in the mouth.
To bring about and build, harmonize the community for the way all man will live peacefully and all man will progress. So okay, they talk about. Say some of these people that now they come into the southwest region and the southwesterners them, they be very welcoming, they be a hospitable people them, which is a fact. Some people they will come begin write stupid comments. They talk about say Senator Belamoki.
In fact, the bulk of the thing where this lost country, my way maybe never know the direction we head balance, we eat it talk. They been not too much inanity, so I don't want to spend too much time because we don't be there now for 1 hour. No one spend too much of the time for delve into. But my country people, I want to make it be clear for we minds. So when you see people like Belamoki stand talk, now because Belamoki Charles, that a very xenophobic person, he know.
So my country people them, as I don't tell Wuna, Amba terrorists, they no fit ignore we because they feel the impact. They know exactly what way would they achieve them. They know. Say today, if Ambazonia terrorism be destroyed, now me and you, the black legs, we don't achieve them. Nobody not just Cameroon military, nobody not just Cameroon government, nobody not President Paul Biya, now me and you, the Anglophones, where we should will fight against this nonsense. They fight against what Senator Belamoki Charles talk because it create that impact, that awareness inside every single Anglophone mind, especially the Southwesterners. Remember, even this man, Ambe Valentine Ambengwa, it be tell una, say, this thing is a Northwest crisis. It tell una. As a matter of fact, I go play that video at the end of this video for give una a better understanding of the reality. When we would talk, some una will talk say, but Marianta, come on, Dian, Sako, come on, Fako, Ayuk Tabe, come on, Manu, and Chris Anu, come on, na Libialem. Yes, it is deliberate. It is as a fact of the recognition of that dynamic. Say the Southwesterners, they don't get nothing to do with this Ambazonia mafia. Now, why that way? The Northwesterners, They pull all this magic. They pull all the tricks for try to make una believe say Southwest get anything to do with this. It is deliberate. Say they make all their internet presidents and they come up for Southwest. It was agreed since 1995 for SCNC. Say if it was a concession where the Northwesterners they give that concession to Southwesterners. They tell them say una can't join me for this fight for Southern Cameroon or whatever, and then when or if we become independent, we guarantee when I say the first ever president for Ambazonia, it go come out from the Southwest. It was a concession. That was the only way the Northwesterners could bamboozle the Southwesterners, fool them. So they can't join this fight because the Southwesterners, they don't know. Since in the days of the 60s, for 1963, the Southwesterners, they created Vikuma. Vikuma, it stands for Victoria Kumba Manfe Alliance, where they create them as a pressure political group for fight for the Southwest man for your position inside the West Cameroon. Say the Northwesterners, they over dominate the Southwesterners. I make una understand. The division where they will tell una today, they will try for fool una say na Cameroon government it divide Northwest and Southwest. Na lie. Now the British, they will create the Southern Cameroon province when a Boyamanfe area, and then they create the Bamenda province. Now the British, no Cameroon government do them. So that division don't always be since before independence. Since before independence, this fight it don't always be. Southwesterners they know. Say if they join them in any political or administrative union with the Northwest, it not go work out for their side. So Northwesterners understanding this political dynamic, they don't play all these gymnastics. Say they go make them in order for draw the Southwest man, make the believe say they so they get anything to do with Ambazonia. And when I go think say we talk about this thing or just for cause infighting or division amongst Anglophones for achieve our goal of destroying Ambazonia terrorism. We understand. Say it will get the impact of destroying Ambazonia terrorism. But there is a greater impact where we want to achieve them. The impact is preventing inevitable future bloodshed. And I waited that way. No Bamenda man when the Amba fool it go ever can address them. Say the reality. Now say there is that pent up anger inside the Southwest man. There is that feeling of marginalization and over domination and ill treatment in their own land. And that is not just a perception. That is not just a feeling. It is real. And I don't give una with exhibit. I don't tell una about the over domination of KNDP from 1950, whatever, 59 to 1972. The over domination of the KNDP in West Cameroon politics. It make them now the Southwest man feel like say they not fit join union politically or administratively with the Northwest man. Now Southwest people they feel like that. So we talk about these things and because tomorrow there will be bloodshed. We try to prevent them. And yes, the Amba fools, they can't respond to what we countryman talk because of the impact where we create them. Because they know say by remaining silent, population, the people are slowly and surely understanding the reality of what we talk about. And now so too their influence and their impact, it wane, it fall apart, it fade. So they don't get no ability for full Anglophones them anymore, for convince them in one way or the other, saying they can't join this thing, for try to make them the things that they so Ambazonia concern them. Ambazonia no concern, no Southwest man. Mem the name Ambazonia and Northwest man, it come up with that name. Make una understand that dynamic. There is a reason why they no fit ignore countryman. Now because of the results we produce, it's undeniable. The impact is felt. If we nobody create impact, this basketball man, enough for go shit on the analyze way countryman talk. They be talk say will be inconsequential. They be talk say will not get no impact. They make all that noise for 2018, 2019. Today, they replay me, my audio, for their so-called TV because they don't have a choice. We don't take away that leverage from them. They do not have a choice. They must listen to which way we talk. And now there is struggle, scrambling for try for respond, scrambling for try for keep the manipulation going. But it's not working because we the black legs we don't assemble and we are going nowhere and the impact is felt. Now, when I listen.
The Anglophone crisis is all the nation against the Northwest. As a matter of fact, it should be tagged a Northwest crisis. It's not Anglophone crisis. It's Northwest crisis. And this should sink deep. And until we accept these realities, we're going to be beating the air. The reason why they have forcefully put a Bakwere man at the forefront of the crisis is to drag the Southwesterners into this thing. They are not part of it. The earlier we know that the Anglophone crisis is the 9 regions of this country against one region called the Northwest region, the better. As the days are going by, subsequently we will change the name from the Anglophone crisis to the Northwest crisis.
Let us be talking. Let us sit. Let us meet. Let us be talking to each other. There is no way you want to go and solve a problem to sit and dialogue with La Republic where you cannot dialogue within your own selves. What does that happen?
That has been our challenge, right? That has been our challenge.
I still don't understand how we want to accuse La Republic of not being able to come and dialogue with us when we can't even dialogue among ourselves. We keep getting into factions, and nobody is talking to each other. We have presidents that want to be there forever. We have people that, okay, this solution because of X and X. No, that got to stop.
But then to that I would say this, Chairman Jackson. I just talked about some people who out here call themselves leaders, who are plotting to kill some of our fighters on the ground. I mean, how do you sit with someone like that to talk about what? That is someone who is plotting to kill a fighter, someone who has put his life on the line. And these people are plotting to kill him. That is the problem. But there are people, instead of fighting to show how good they are at taking down the enemy, they want to turn around and take down their own brother. Are those partners? So that is the challenge we have. That we are not focused on we don't seem to be focused on the same objective. If we were focused on the same objective, but having different opinions on how to achieve that objective, that would be a completely different case. We have had leaders in Ground Zero who have been arrested. We even had Sisiko and the Nera 10 who were in Nigeria. They were in Nigeria. And they were picked up from Nigeria, not even from Ground Zero. They were picked up from Nigeria and brought back, and they are sitting right now in jail. We had FMA, who was trapped in a very secure environment, and by who? By our own very people, and killed. Now, when we talk about Ground Zero Command, and you identify maybe 1 or 2 or 3 persons that this is the leadership, what do you think is going to happen to them? It's not only La Republic that will come after. It's not only La Republic that will come after them and kill them. Our own very people will be bought, and they will betray them, and they will get killed. That is what happened with FMN. So it is very risky to put someone there and say, "Oh, this is now the leadership on the ground," because they will not last. They will not last. Either if they cannot buy them, they'll kill them. They'll look for ways to get to them and kill them. Either they are bought or they are killed. That is what's going to happen. So and that is my concern with this issue of Ground Zero Command, because people didn't think to have, it seems not to have put in a lot of thought into the ramifications or the risks that come with this decision. So yes, we're saying something.
Let me just say, you have just touched my heart again. And whenever you mention Field Marshal the King, you will also agree with me that that is one of the reasons why these people in the ground are struggling to do this thing. That man's gap is being felt on the ground, like it or not. What the previous government has done, how do you expect the people on ground who are fighting to stand and continue to lavish praises on diaspora when a diasporan marshal the king. Has not said anything about it. Or even said, while we were still doing investigation, we have come to truth and we cannot continue to live in denial. That man has been killed for the freedom of Ambazonia. So we got to take a little more care about those on ground when they cry. This is one of those heavy provocations that makes for people to begin to say, so this is how if I lose my life someday or I'm in the dungeon like the others are picked up. Even in Bamenda Hot Station, there are people there in the dungeon saying, oh yeah, the capital. There are people there in their dungeons. Not only in La Republique, the Cameroon dungeon. They are there languishing there. We must change the way, what is called paradigm shift, the way we think, and see how the message of collaboration and unity for the peace of the Lord.
And I ask, this is the question I ask. Let us assume that we give Gandro the opportunity to lead, right? And for some by some miraculous way, we are able to have our independence by that structure, which is still almost an impossibility. Now, when we get to Boya now, given that most Ambazonians prefer a civilian government, right? Most Ambazonians prefer a civilian government. How are you going to transition from the fighters on the ground having power back to the civilians? What plans do you have? What structure do you have that will allow for that transition to take place, where you now have elections and a civilian government elected to take power? Do you have a plan for that? And up to now, I'm waiting for that answer. I haven't gotten it yet.
Fellow Ambazonians, I want me to watch this video for this our brave soldier them, and then for look at it as a mirror to yourself for all the hardliners. Now, Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga forces in this Tanwe General Transporter be alive. When I remember, for the egg of sea, would not be engineered for toxic for Akwanga and chop money for La Republique. It work now for La Republique. When I see him, now the thing then this way he will do one for background. When you don't like your brother, cause she, criticize he, but make we stop for lie about everybody for this struggle. Now we don't isolate everybody from our struggle. If we want to see daylight, if we want to make our people then ever see daylight, make we stop all the lies telling about each other. Now that wicked black man syndrome, now the Kiwi from Ambazonia, who will destroy all ourselves before I go open. Our struggle, it don't be run in a way where people then way they think properly, they look and listen as struggle for illiterate people them. No be for no reason. We need to understand how the war it work. No be meeting go solve the problem. No be just say we'll be united superficially, it will solve the problem. Usually, when groups and where they stand for political issue them, they want to come together. They come together for strategic reasons. For example, if you consider group them, political group them, they want come together. For example, if political group they come together for challenge one political enemy, all of those groups them they get their own individual platform and policy them. That means say each group is stand for something. You know, video talk say your own group, you just stand for independence. What is your roadmap? What are your strategy? What are you doing? Why do you think if you join with another group, it will help you? If you get groups them where they get conflicting agenda in their very nature, even they come together, it will not still work. Because in Ambazonia, we don't get no standard. Every group, it claim for be something where it not be. Every group, it violate basic principle them for collective movement. We need to understand, say, the world do not evolve around us. The world do not owe us some money for becoming pay how American they call and say child support. So no man you know go wait say make we wise before they will hell away. They will only look with the laugh and a laugh. When I need to understand something, there are some basic principles for operate. Whether you like them or not, there is no excuse in law like ignorance. One of the misconceptions we get them. Now this issue where the hardliners they push and say creating a government in the middle of a liberation movement is wrong, and it is the biggest problem we have. I have always told our people, even the egg of sea when I was with them, the problem with the government is the claiming of exclusive power. When a government claims that you be the exclusive power, then now you infringe on the right of other groups to participate, because under international law, Mkpd, every group of Ambazonia, so far as we never get our sovereignty, get the right for gather together, form a group to represent their interests. Ambazonians don't have any standard, and we think that the world do not understand that. The world understand that, and that is why sometimes our struggle is being ridiculed. We should understand that, even for example, when the group of IG Siseko was ahead, was the most dominant group, you have the other group, they go to create the act for the sole purpose to project themselves as a unified front to challenge the dominance of the IG care or the IG of Siseko. We cannot do things only be motivated by our own internal hatred. Now, when they call this theory, they say the crap theory, crap mentality. If you take a group of crap, put them inside basket, no one will come out for it, because anyone the one come out, another one will drag his and come back for down. They will end up, even that basket, if you open one crab, nothing run free. That is the problem of people who are in slavery. Their ability to overcome slave mentality and think properly. All we will do now, I say every group where you see says other group if they go in front, they will do everything to bring them down, and that is only the time they can compromise to stand together. But we must have some principles. If we do not have some principles, we will even defeat the purpose of our liberation struggle before we could even fight for our liberation with the enemy. If you can forgive people like Sako for embezzling money, for killing soldiers. Remember, for Insabui, Sako killed 26 ARF, we warrior soldiers who were slaughtered in Mbui for suspicion of working with the ADF. Let alone the amount of soldiers that were killed, that were ADF soldiers who came all over Ambazonia. Remember that the people who were killed in Bali, you have a Bible translator was killed by Aringwa. He asked commando to kill this man because this man name appeared in a document providing information to the Human Rights Watch and other NGOs. That man was murdered. If you could forgive and move along with people who can murder our people and do collective punishment. Chris Ano asked for people to attack the United Nations because the Cameroon intelligence was pushing him from behind to do so. If you can forgive these people, you will defeat the same the principle why you are fighting for. The reason why we are fighting for La Republique, if we defeat that reason, then somebody would ask you, why don't you forgive La Republique du Cameroon as well, if some things are forgivable for you? So, our own primitivity, our own backwardness, which motivates us the most in this struggle, is our ability to fight order. Our own power, the end only with ourselves. When we'll be motivated because some person they pass you, you will be able to do the compromise. But when they ask you to do that compromise because of the sake of Ambazonia, you cannot. No group can surrender its own power because of Ambazonia. They can only do so to survive. So the groups we have today, expect nothing from them. Absolutely nothing. The day you would have these groups to give something, it will be a day they themselves will be able to have principle for what they stand for. You cannot just say you stand for independence. What is that independence for you? What does that independence mean? What are the principles that guide your group? What are the benchmark? Every organization have bylaws that mean something. If every group have violated their own law, they don't even represent the constitution of their own group. When it doesn't suit you, you change it as you want. Are you not doing worse than what Paul Biya is doing in Cameroon? Changing constitution, gathering his own friends and make parliamentarians and all those type of things. Why are we fighting? Can we win? Those are primary questions we must always be able to debate and answer before we can move forward or before we can put the life of 18 million people at risk.